So a lot of Republicans or conservatives like to say they're pro-life, and I agree, and that's what I've been. That's always been the mantra. But it was more of a reaction versus an actual walk the walk, talk the talk thing until my wife was pregnant. Once my wife was pregnant, the birth, everything, or the pregnancy seemed to be a great thing for us, and then all of a sudden she developed complications because of a misdiagnosis. Because of the misdiagnosis, it led to more and more tragedy, and she developed more of an infection. She had developed stuff that the doctors were not even clear what she had. When that happened, things got really, really bad, and you start getting nervous and you start thinking, okay, what's going to happen when they start talking about how many CT scans they can do, how many of this and that with a fetus. And then all of a sudden it came to the conclusion of, Mr. Knipper, we've done everything we can do. Bottom line is, if we want to increase the life expectancy of your wife, we're going to have to ask, should we terminate the pregnancy? Never thought in a million years I'd be asked that question, but it was asked to me. And so since it was, I had to make a decision. I based my decision based on what I honestly believe, what I've always told people I believed, and I thought that was the right decision then. And I'm so glad I did, because my wife's turnaround happened very quickly afterwards. Our son was born premature. I'm not going to try to minimize what happened. My wife almost passed away 3 different times. But in the end analysis, what happened was my son was born premature with a whole list of complications that he was supposed to have. My wife actually made it through the surgery. She made it through the surgery, and once it was done, once the baby was born, our son Zach was born, she started to improve. They were able to start getting her the medications and stuff she needed. So it was actually a win-win situation that we did not abort, because it allowed doctors to actually see what was going on as they did an emergency C-section for her. Now, my son, who would go on and who was told we were going to have all kinds of complications, we were told he could possibly be mentally retarded, or that he might be blind from the oxygen that was used, or the large amounts of oxygen that was used. None of this stuff was true. And I'm not saying doctors are falsifying. I'm just simply telling you that I believe I acted on principles that I grew up on. And I knew those principles were based in truth, and those truths led to great things. My son now is 3 years advanced among any of his peers. He's a math wizard. He's an electronics and IT guy. He wants to be a physician, and I'm sure he'll treat preemies one day. I hope he does, because that would be the great irony of this whole story. My wife obviously survived, and actually she's been doing better now than she has ever before, because they were able, that situation allowed them to see what was wrong and give her the proper medications, which today has sustained a much better lifestyle for her. So I'm often asked, and every time I hear the question, you know, are you pro-life? I think to myself, the immediate answer is yes. But what's going through my head is the story I just told you. And I have to think at every point of that story, if I didn't know and I had to relive the story again, would my answers be the same? And my answer to that is yes. I'm so grateful we chose life.